I do my tickle trunk.
Yeah. Don't like this. I don't like this. See how far you can shake over. It looks like, look at that. Look at that blur effect. Ha ha,
Wait,
camera,
I
you
feel like
can't
I need to
capture this. Never gonna get this. Never
look
gonna
at this.
get this.
Look how fast.
Hi, guys. So I have Freddy's mask that's right here, but it looks like it melted and just became like a freaking cookie that just melted into a baking sheet because I need to put something inside of it to flush out the mask. You see him? It's like his face was squished in.
You need to go find it. You need to go ahead, I guess.
I need to I need to head up in there. But it's got to be the right proportions. I got to go around asking people to put on the head, and as soon as they put it on, I'm like, that one's appropriate. You'll do.
Come here. I just want to see something. I just want to see something. Come here. You're just like, yeah, that's the right fit.
Sorry, Minnie. It's always Minnie.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Always you.
And he throws axes. It's very easy to say that it was just an axe throwing, failure.
Accident.
That's it. It was an accident, dude. Does he have life insurance? I might double down.
If you're listening, Minnie, get some life insurance because
get some life insurance policy. Coming for you twice, and I want to say thank you afterwards. Twice.
From movies to video games, welcome to Marie Plays It All. Today's episode is Late to the Game. Nice shirt. Daniel's shirts.
I just wanted to show
shirts now.
That was it.
Perfect.
That was all I wanted to do. I want to do it during your intro, so it has to make the episode.
Yeah, good. I know every episode we should have a Daniel shirt. I think I said this last time. I don't know if I cut it out or not, but yeah, shirt off. Yeah.
Well, I didn't mean with my shirt off. I meant like a, when they say, oh, like a dance off, and they have to dance off each other.
Okay.
Where does that term come from? Where does dance off? Like when you off something, right? Like a dance. Let's have a dance off. What's the off? Are they doing off of each other? Like that's what I meant, like a shirt off.
You're like playing off of one another. Okay, so here we go. Daniel and I've just decided this now that we're gonna have a shirt off every episode, if you remember. Okay, and then so who do you choose? Ouija board sweater, or Clockwork Orange? What do you choose? Oh, down below. I know what I would pick: the Clockwork Orange shirt. But okay. Now I'm off track again about what the show is.
Okay. Back to video games and video games, and sometimes movies. But it's mostly video games, only on the episodes that we talk about video games.
In this episode, though, we talk about movies. And Daniel forces me, I got a new stress ball.
Yay, she's got a new one.
Forces me to watch popular movies that I embarrassingly haven't seen, which is a lot of them. A lot.
A ton of them. So that stress ball, I give it about 2 episodes and it'll be popped by the time we see her again. And she'll have a new stress ball.
Very vigorous. Violent.
That's my middle name. All right. So I forced her to watch these movies and I asked her a series of questions prior to her watching the movie. Prior to her watching it, she has to answer the series of questions. We get to see how right or how wrong she is. And then we get to find out, will she play it back or will she rage quit it? Welcome to Late to the Game.
That was so profesh. That was so good.
Okay. The movie I'm giving to you is one that you've already probably know of, but you've never seen. Okay. Training Day.
Oh, yeah, no. Yes, no.
Right? No. You know of it. You already know who's in it.
Yes.
So we know the cast of characters, at least one cast of character. Do you know the partner? Yes. We're about to find out. So let's see. What is a movie about?
I'm guessing cop or some sort of like people who are of the law. No, like it could be like FBI.
Sounds like knights.
Law. Like, yeah,
I'm a man of the law. I'm a thespian of crime. Vigilantes against crime.
There you go. Vigilantes.
But you said cops, right? Cops.
Could be FBI. Could be something like that. But some sort of vigilantes of crime of modern day.
Got it.
And they
do you want to guess which ones they are, or is this the bureau that you're coming up with?
It's the ones that deal with all the drugs. Okay. Like SWAT team drug people.
SWAT team drug people. So that's what they are in this one. Got it. This summer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Summer.
All right.
Okay. But obviously one of them's coming in, and one of them has to train the other one.
Hence Training Day.
Training Day. Yeah. I mean, clearly.
So who's the one that's the vet? The one that's getting too old for this? Who's that one?
Denzel Washington.
Okay. And who's the young
Mhm.
pup that needs to learn the tricks of the land?
Is it like Ethan Hawke or something? Like, who is it? I don't remember.
I can't
Or
tell
who's that
you.
other Edward Norton or something? No, I'm thinking American History X. Ethan. I'm gonna go. Is it Ethan Hawke? I'm gonna say Ethan Hawke. I don't know.
So it's just one training another, but like, what's the premise? Like, what's the movie other than him
Mm.
training him? Otherwise, it just feels like a training
Well,
video, right? When you get
okay,
hired at
well,
a new job.
yeah, but I think that Denzel Washington is gonna be corrupt in the end. And he's gonna be using his new partner that he's training. I don't know how, but he's gonna use him maybe to pin stuff on him, like, "Oh, he was just a rookie, he didn't know," and then so he's gonna, like, try to pin whatever he's doing on Ethan Hawke, I guess. And that's what I think is gonna happen, something like that.
So he does this to all of his old partners. Won't this be conspicuous if he keeps having partners that keep ending being corrupt?
Well, I didn't I just thought that maybe this was just a brand new partner and he had a long-term partner for a long time, and maybe the
Mm,
long-term partner found out that he was crooked, and then he killed him and staged it to make it look like bad guys did it, and he's like, "Oh, my partner
mm,
died," but really Denzel
it's
kind of
him.
did it, and then now he has a new guy, and he's like, "Well, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pin everything on this guy, because
And he can't
I
stop. And he
he
can't
can't."
stop. Like
Yeah,
he just has to keep doing it. It's like an addiction.
yeah, the
Some people
money
are
and the
like
power.
sneakerheads and they just keep buying shoes. Some girls
Mhm.
just keep buying purses. He just keeps having to commit a series of crimes, despite the fact of him being a vigilante against crime.
Yeah, but he's not really a vigilante against crime. He is, he partakes. He's a partaker in crime.
Partaker. And he's a party taker.
Yeah.
He shows up to parties and takes some of their appetizers and leaves.
Oh, just crashes the parties and, like, thieves everything. Oh,
Yeah,
that's a good
that's it.
idea.
Yeah, it's very,
I
very
mean,
mean. Like, it's like, well, that's just rude.
I feel like it happens more than we know.
Yeah, I figure they liked it so much they just pour the rest into their purse and they just take off. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
where did Jimmy go? Oh no, all the Totinos are gone.
Well, why do you think girls have addictions to buying purses? It's because they need bigger and bigger
Uh,
purses. They can go to the parties and steal all the Tottinos, or whatever you said.
so some so you have your Totino bag, which is perfectly for storing, you know, Totinos. You have some that are your chicken wing bags, so that way it
Mhm.
keeps the same aroma. If you keep mixing a bunch of
Mm.
different foods, the food's gonna taste gross when you eat it later. You got to stick
Yeah,
the bags to the same type of foods.
and then the girls have their guacamole clutches, where it's just like a little clutch, and they open it, scoop the guac in there, and then their girlfriend has like all the chips, and they go in the back of the car, like, "We got away with it again, bitches."
And they're speeding off into the speeding off to the sunlight, and then just eating their guacs. I love it.
Yeah, and then Denzel Washington, Ethan Hawke pull up, and then Denzel Washington steals all their stuff and kills them all and pins it on Ethan Hawke.
Naturally, on Ethan Hawke's just watching it, like, "What the heck? Don't do that!" And he's like, "Too late, you did." And he goes, "Oh, I did it," and then boom, he got pinched.
That's it. That's the
All
whole
right,
movie. That's the movie.
that's it. Okay, good. I like that. All right, I forgot to do the pop quiz, hot shot.
I can add that in.
You just
I'll take
looked at me. You just looked at me unenthused. So if that's the clip you take, it's me saying pop quiz hot shot and you just doing this. Yeah. That's all you're doing. That's all you did. I was like, forgot to do the pop quiz hot shot. So that's the clip you're using. Just so unimpressed. I don't even think you blinked. Now you have to use that one because that's
I have.
funny. You're gonna watch it and you're gonna be laughing, saying, "Oh my god, my face didn't move,"
Do you wanna
because
know why it didn't move? Can I tell you? And then
you thought I was
you'll
gonna
get a
redo it.
no, because this is how my mind works. Because you're like, "Oh, I forgot to do the pop quiz," and my brain's like, "Okay, did we give enough time before saying that sentence beforehand so I can cut it right there and clip it and put it ahead?" So I'm thinking like I'm editing it in my head, like, "Okay, I can just move that there and it's no big deal, and then we can
Yeah,
continue on." That's my brain. And so I'm just like this,
but
processing,
once it's edited, it's
processing.
just this. So unimpressed. Like, jeez.
I'm not gonna edit it. I'm gonna leave everything in the
Yeah,
spot where it
leave it all in
happened.
there. Who plays Officer Jake Hoyt?
Ethan
So which
Hawke.
one's which? Okay.
Yeah.
What intense situation is Jake placed in that Alonzo set him up for?
Ah, see? See?
Mm,
He's gonna be in this, like, drug sting thing,
of stealing
and
guac.
a guac drug. Ooh. Guac could be a drug. I mean, if you get a good guacamole, oh man, like that is a drug. You get
That's worth
addicted.
stealing.
I think that's going to be some sort of like drug thing, and he's going to be in there thinking he's going to be thinking he's like doing the sting, but then he's in there, and really they're going to think that he did it somehow. I'm so vague with these answers. I don't know what I'm saying.
What
They're
drug? Like which kind of drugs?
cocaine, probably. I mean, it's usually cocaine. It's usually cocaine. I'm not gonna be like it's marijuana.
You have to
I
say
don't
it like
care.
that too. Is that a Canadian accent, or is that like
I
an
don't know.
old Oklahoma?
That's what I felt like because I feel like they'd
Oklahoma,
be
yeah,
really upset about marijuana. Everyone loves
they would
marijuana here.
be.
It's fine.
Yeah,
They
but
would be like, it's
Oklahoma, nope.
marijuana
Oklahoma's where they draw the limit. You stay on that side of the border
with your guacamole.
with your guacamole. All right. So what intense situation? So what's the intense situation? You just said drug bust or drug related,
Yeah.
right?
Is that intense? I feel like that's intense. And I feel like he's gonna be
Well,
in
what are
there
the
and
specifics?
oh God. Okay, so he's going in there. I'm trying to think about a scene where it's gonna are they gonna plant something on him? Or Denzel Washington is gonna be like, okay, we got the guy who's the dirty cop and he's in there right now making the trade. And then the boat came in at 6 a.m. with all the cocaine, and then down on the docks, and then they're in the warehouse. And these are all the
Hmm.
what do you say? What's the word? Specifics.
Details? Details? Specifics?
Specifics.
Yeah.
At the docks, 6 a.m. in the warehouse.
Docs.
And then Denzel's like, we got him, he's there, and it's gonna be just Ethan Hawke, like, and they're gonna be like, oh, and they trust Denzel because he's so seasoned. He's such a seasoned cop.
What?
He's so respected. He's only 2 weeks away from retirement. I mean, and then Denzel Washington has to shoot. He Ethan Hawke too, and then it's like, oh, we got the guy, and oh, he won't be on the streets ever again. And then, yeah,
Get some. Why is Alonzo under duress for most of the movie?
because he's undercover
Hmm.
to get that guac.
What if he's undercover for the undercover? What if he's secretly a good guy pretending to be a bad guy just to catch the good guy that's pretending to be a bad guy?
Is this Tropic Thunder? Is this Tropic Thunder? Like, I'm a white dude playing a black dude playing a white dude playing a black dude.
What do you mean, you people? What do you mean, you people? Yeah, exactly.
I feel like he's always like in a costume and in disguise because he's not who you think he is.
Does he wear the
So
glasses with the fake mustache?
no, but he wears the one with like the fake nose and mustache.
That makes sense. Because if he would have wore the glass with the fake mustache, that would have been too fake.
You need to add that nose in there.
The nose, dude. What does Alonzo make Hoyt do to gain trust? Hoyt.
Wait,
Hoyt. Hoyt.
wait. I feel like you really gotta do the
Hoyt.
H in the back of your
Hoyt.
throat, like wait, wait.
You can also do like the white, so you're like white, Hoyt.
Cool whip.
Cool Hoyt.
Cool
Hoyt eats Cool Whip.
Hoyt eats
Hoyt.
white. Cool whip.
Hoyt. He does. He doesn't like the black Cool Whip. Only
No.
the white one. That's
It's
it.
rancid.
He's racist.
What does he do to make him gain trust?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
He is going to say to him, I think that there's this dirty vigilante of crime in our little in the what do they call it, precinct, and I think
Mm-hmm.
there's somebody in here who's dirty, and I need you to get this file, and you can't tell anybody, because they'll love him and no one's gonna believe you, but you have to go in and you have to get it for me, and it's kind of, you're gonna have to be sneaky.
Sneaky Pete.
But he wants him to prove his loyalty and stuff and gain his trust. And he's like, and if you do this, then I know that you aren't actually the crooked cop. And yeah. And then he goes and he gets this file for him. It was just all a ruse.
Hoyt helps a young civilian. Hoyt helps a young civilian. What is that? What does he do to help?
Oh, I thought you were asking what the civilian was. And I was like, the civilian was a whore.
You can answer that. So it's a whore.
It's
It's
a
a young.
hooker.
Young. It's a hooker.
A young
What does
hooker.
he help that civilian with?
She is getting she's getting attacked on the street by her pimp. And he
Naturally.
was like, hey, don't do that, you dirty, rotten pimp. And then he gets him, and
Shakes a
then she
finger
is,
aggressively.
yeah. And when Hoyt shakes a finger, you feel it. You feel that wind.
Hoyt.
Hoyt. Uh, yeah, that's what he helps. He helps her because she's getting attacked by him. Yeah.
Is it because she's not giving him money, or is it because she's trying to take a day off and whores don't take days off?
Whores don't get days off.
No, they don't.
Yeah, because he's saying, I know you got the money. And she's like, no, I don't have the money, but she didn't. But he thinks that
Mm-hmm.
she should. And then he was
Mm.
like, really, he's really being me. And he's trying to like take her purse and everything. And yeah,
With the
no.
guac.
The purse with the guac.
Every time. It's there. It writes itself at this point.
I
Okay.
need my guac payment. My guac payment.
Yeah. What does Alonzo have planned for Rogers and why?
He has planned for Rogers a surprise party
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because he is retiring 2 weeks before Alonzo is retiring. Alonzo?
Alonzo. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
but then of course at the surprise retirement party, there's gonna be like, I don't know, something's gonna go down. They're gonna
And there's definitely gonna be party takers there, huh? They're gonna go there and take some of the appetizers. See? Full circle, baby. Full circle.
Did you see me like get so like defeated? Like we gotta bring this party joke back in. The party's
There it is.
it's really it's okay. He's doing the party because that's really like a setup to catch
The
the
drug
party
dealers.
snack. No, the
Party
party
snackers.
stealer.
Party snack stealers. The party snack stealers. PSS.
PSS.
There you go. Which musical artist plays a role in this film?
DMX.
Okay. There's actually 3 of them. You don't have to name all 3, but we can go with one.
DMX. Just like that. Christina Aguilera, she plays the hooker. She plays the hooker. DMX plays Rogers. And no, he can't. He's too young. Who's going to play Rogers? We need an older musical person to play Rogers. And that
Luther
is
Vandross.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm kidding. I can't give you your answers. You got to pick your own.
Michael Bolton.
There you go. Michael Bolton, the legend himself. What is considered the Jungles?
A really bad neighborhood. I don't know neighborhoods in American cities. But I'm just going to say this takes place in, let's just say it's New York, and it's going to be a bad neighborhood in New York.
New York. Okay. What happens to Alonzo at the end of the movie?
Oh, I think Rogers, even though he's retired, he saw something at this party. I think he is going to catch on to something, and then maybe he has like some footage that, like through the movie, you're like seeing him like watch this footage, and there's this big like grand finale where they end up catching Alonzo right after he already killed White. But then you can see Rogers like, I know I'm retired, but I have to go back to find out. I need to solve this because something's not adding up. And then he's like, you see him like in the precinct, and he's looking up all his footage and getting all these things. And then it's like a shot of him, and then it's the shot of them in the warehouse, and a shot, and then they show up and they actually get him at the end.
And then LMFAO comes out and says, shot, 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 shot. Because there's so many shots everywhere.
And maybe it's LMFAO in the movie. That's the musical people.
There you go. Naturally. Okay, good. You ready to watch this? You ready to get the training wheels off?
Oh, I'm ready to take my training wheels off. Is this the one that's King Kong ain't them got shit on me or whatever? Is that this movie?
Can't tell you.
I think it might be.
Straight gangster today.
Oh, it's suiting.
It is appropriate for training day.
Yeah.
Back from the movie. Yeah, you have to carry us today on energy. This can be a very serious conversation about training day. We take this very seriously right now. All of our episodes and this entire podcast has just been a belligerent rounds of just comedy bits and jokes and off-timed puns and inquiries into comedies. But now we could sit here and take a very serious approach as we talk about training day. What is the movie about?
I was right about Ethan Hawke.
Mm-hmm.
There's Denzel Washington, Ethan Hawke. Denzel Washington is like training Ethan Hawke for this day. To join his, like, what is that? Like, what are they still? I don't even know the technical term of what they're being. They're being like those like
vigilantes of the law.
Yeah, so he's training to be on this like hardcore drug busting cop squad, then work his way up to be a detective.
Yes.
And then you find out that Denzel is like kind of like a crooked cop, but like in this ring of
Hmm.
crooked cops. But then
Not
some of the
kind of,
stuff he
very much so.
yes, but then also some of the stuff he says, and then I'm like, well, yeah, that's how you take the big people down. Is like you got to be part of it, right? Because a lot of the time you can't rely on the law to do it. You need vigilantes of the night.
Yes, but that's just all BS because he owes money to the Russian. So that's
That's
why
true.
he does all this. So that tells you he's acting out of pocket and he got too big for his britches, as they like to say.
Hmm.
Yeah.
He's
We think they're
clearly
perfectly
too.
adequate for their britches, but they think they're too big for them.
He thinks he's perfectly adequate for his britches,
Yes.
but no, he's
No.
fallen out of those britches. So
They're a little tight on him now. It was like the old high
yeah,
school pants that you used to have. That you have photos of it, and you sit there and you think, "Oh, I've lost enough weight. Let me try them on." You put them on, and it just completely shoots your self confidence. And no,
it's your old emo high school emo skinny jeans. That's what it is.
that's where you can see the on each leg. That's how tight they are.
Do you know what they call like a male camel toe?
Moose knuckle.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's Canadian born. You guys invented that term.
we have a store here called Moose
Called,
Knuckles.
yeah, maybe you guys did. Then I made that up.
But it's like winter wear, but it's like really expensive and apparently really good quality. And like the logo on it, it looks like a ball. But like, but
Yeah. Everything you're describing to me about Canada, if I saw that in a movie or a TV show, I would just laugh and say that's not real. So the fact that you people actually exist. Okay, so back to Training Day. Yes, you're right. So that's what the movie's about, essentially. Who plays Officer Jack Hoyt? Jake Hoyt,
Ethan Hawke,
Ethan
Ethan
Hawke.
Hawke
What intense situation is Jake placed in that Alonzo set him up for?
is the one with the Roger guy, and he has to go in that one. He set him up for
No,
a lot of stuff. He set him up
he
for a
did.
lot of things.
Yeah,
The
so
whole
you're
thing's a
technically not
setup
wrong, but the big intense one.
with Tuco in the house and gonna shoot
Yep.
him in the bathtub.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
that
And then I said, why is Alonzo under duress for most of the movie?
like to be undercover ish,
Mm,
but then people know he's a cop, so he fits in. Why?
no, because he owes money to the Russians. So the whole
That's
time
why.
that, yeah, so it's not like this is just an everyday life of Alonzo. He owes money to the Russians by midnight. So that's
Yeah,
why when he's setting up and he takes out Roger, who was his homie, right? But he takes him out because he's getting desperate to get money to pay off the Russians before they clip him. And that's why when Jake Hoyt goes over there and stops him towards the end, the time expires, and that's why he gets taken out in the middle of the street by the Russians.
that's why he's underdressed. Is that what you said?
Under duress.
The whole time I thought you were saying underdressed. Every time that's what I'm hearing.
Why is he
Underdressed.
under duress? Like, why is he under pressure?
Oh,
Why the
okay.
stakes so high?
Okay. I would have answered that question completely different if I didn't think every single time you were saying underdressed.
Under duress. Duress. Under
Okay,
duress.
I still hear under. I know what you're saying, but to me, I'm like, I
Yeah.
can still hear it. But
Okay.
it's not you,
But
it's just my
anyways,
brain.
that's the
Okay,
answer.
yeah.
That's the answer. So yeah, so he owes money to the Russians. He got too big for his britches again. So,
Yeah.
his pair of moose knuckle pants didn't fit him anymore. So he had to
Hmm.
go and get desperate to do the Russians. And that's why the more he gets into it, the more he's draining. What does Alonzo make Hoyt do to gain trust?
Smoke PCP?
Yep, that's right. She still should never have done.
No.
Hoyt helps a young civilian. What is that? How does he help
Yeah.
this young civilian?
This young civilian who is a 25-year-old, 14-year-old apparently, is getting
Yeah,
having a R word attempt in a back alley by you think it's just one, but it's actually two guys, which two gross
yeah, very
druggies.
gross.
And it's not graphic, but then yeah, he saves her from getting R worded.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he does.
Hmm.
And then he has the wallet that helps saves him in the bathtub.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. What does Alonzo have planned for Rogers and why?
He plans on going in there and getting that money and killing him. Is that what he plans?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
Okay.
why?
Is it because he needs that money so he can give it to the Russians?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You literally
Okay.
just saw this movie.
I know, but
You still not, I swear you didn't watch it.
I watched it, but that whole one question that I thought was the wrong word is now throwing
Has
me off,
thrown you
and
off for the whole
that
thing.
I'm wrong. I'm
Okay.
wrong on everything now.
So Jake Hoyt is underdressed. Why? That's a bonus
The
question.
Russians.
Yes. Okay. Which musical artist plays a role in this
Hmm.
film? And there's three of them in it.
Okay.
Bonus
Yeah,
points if you get them all
there's
right.
okay, Snoop Dogg,
Yes.
Macy Gray,
Yes.
Dr. Dre.
Yes. Good. What is considered the jungle? The jungles.
Yeah, like what area was that? And I was wrong. It wasn't New York. It was in LA, I'm
LA.
guessing.
Hmm.
Okay.
So I think they're in Compton or something like that, I think. I don't remember
Oh.
exactly where.
Do they say? I
What
don't know if they say.
No, but it's just like a cul-de-sac area. So it's just like a really
Okay.
bad. So I mean you were right in the
Mhm.
sense it was like gangland, essentially. What happens to Alonzo at the end of the movie?
He gets what's coming.
You guess what's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very PC way to say it. Very Canadian version. Fun facts: the line "King Kong ain't got bleep on me" was ad-libbed by Denzel,
I
which
knew
you already
that.
knew. Denzel said his role in this film was his favorite, which also won him his Oscar. During the poker scene, the director Antoine Fuqua gave explicit instructions to the gangster actors and didn't tell Ethan Hawke. This was to confuse them and add tension to the scene. So a
Love
lot
it.
of Ethan Hawke's performance in that is sincere because he doesn't know what they were doing. A
Love it.
fun little fact: the main guy, the main gangster Mexican guy, is not actually Mexican at all. They're just giving our parts away to people that are brown colored.
Yeah. Hey, you got brown
So
skin? Okay,
yeah,
you can fit in here. You got brown
yeah.
skin?
He was
But
also a villain in an Arnold Schwarzenegger action movie.
doesn't he also play like Pablo Escobar or whatever in Blow?
Hmm. Hey, guess they couldn't find a good enough Mexican actor to play him.
There's tons.
Yes, I agree with you. Tobey Maguire was on deck to play Jake Hoyt. He
Oh,
gained weight and followed undercover narcotics officers in LA for 2 months. He was dropped when Ethan Hawke became available, who was the first choice for Antoine. So he put 2 months worth of work, gained all this weight, and then they didn't give it to him. So that's probably why he's so angry in the paparazzi videos. The original ending had Alonzo getting away with it, but Denzel insisted that it be amended. He shouldn't have
oh,
gotten away with it. That's why you gotta kill off the
no,
villain sometimes.
right.
He deserved death. Okay, so that was my fun facts. Daniel's fun facts of the day. It's Marie's notes.
Marie's note. Okay, I don't have many, but my
Mhm.
first note is right off the bat. I just hate Denzel Washington. I hate this guy.
The actor?
No, like I hate his character in the
Uh,
movie. Right off the bat from that first
because
like
he's such a,
restaurants. Oh,
yep. He's so dismissive of him, and very,
it's not even just that. It's like you're clearly playing a character. This isn't you as a person. This is you and you're playing a character, not Denzel. I mean, like Denzel's character is like such
yeah,
a
Alonzo.
playing a character, and I hate the type of character he's portraying himself to be. And right away, it's like, I don't trust you. Like right away, it's like, I don't trust you, Alonzo. And like, shut up, first of all. Shut your mouth. I just hate the whole like, I'm so big, you can't don't f with me. I just hated him.
The
But
machismo,
then
right? You hate the male toxicity.
yeah, I hate toxicity in general, like even girls being like, "Yeah, I'm a girl, I can do whatever I want." Like both genders have their have their toxic, gross behavior, but I hate that one that Denzel's being in there. I'm just like, shut up.
You want to punch him in the face?
Oh, I did so many times. I felt
Mhm.
Hoyt's like feelings. I was like,
Yeah,
do it.
good. See, Antoine Fuqua doesn't mess around. He brought that intensity to us as a viewer.
Hmm. And I
Hmm.
said right from the get-go, he is manipulating Hoyt into doing whatever he wants by using him and like using threats. I'm like, right away, he's like, he's manipulating you, buddy. Like we
Hmm.
know. But then he started to grow on me when he was like the way he treated those R word bad guys. They don't deserve justice. Off them.
Eliminate them.
Some of the things he was saying, I'm like, don't grow on me, Denzel. Don't you grow on me. But then I was like,
Don't
no,
you
I
act
hate you.
good, Denzel. Don't you act good. And he acts good.
I
And it's like,
know.
damn it, you got me again. Because it's still Denzel. And so that's, you know, he was so worthy of winning the Oscar.
He was flawless.
Hmm.
And I hated him. That's why he was so good. I found one part confusing, like when they're like in the jungle and it's near the end, and Ethan Hawke like walks away, and then the guys are like, "We got you," and they got the gun on him, and then the scene just cuts, and then you
Hmm.
hear sirens, but then he's just away. Like I guess they let him go, and he's driving away.
I think what it is they probably knew anyways that the Russians were going for him. They knew he was like a marked man, so they basically held him back to let Ethan Hawke go away. Everybody knew that Denzel was gonna die. Like the character Alonzo, everybody knew he was marked for death. It was a fool's errand that he was trying to get the money and scrounge up enough money, and they said because he had a hot temper, he accidentally killed one of the Russian mobsters in
Yeah.
Vegas, right? Like in a scuffle.
Mm-hmm.
So it was always his ego. That's why King Kong ain't got shit on me. That line is so symbolic of his ego about himself, where he thinks he's grandeur and bigger than life. So even when they mention he's like even like a different, like from where he is and where he was from, he's almost like a different gang member, like the different gang side than the one that was in the jungle. But his ego was so there, like I run you guys. I'm the one that does all this stuff, and they've always hated him, but he always had some power. But now when he's here and he's looking all, pathetic at the end and stripped away from all that power, it's almost like, you know what? We're not even gonna make it easy on this guy. We're gonna let him go and let the Russians deal with them, and they did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess I wish there was like maybe a little bit longer of a thing right there, not just like cut this scene, then he's driving away and I'm like on his way to the airport and I'm like, okay, well, what they do? Did they? I guess, but then it's like I guess yeah, you have to figure it out yourself, I guess. But I was just like, no, I want to know exactly what's going to happen to him and why, because he
Yes,
deserves like punishment, and I want him to be punished, and he
and he
did,
did.
and he did. But goddamn, that ego makes me rage inside. I just like vibrate with anger, and I just want to be like in the.
That's how he's supposed to be a good villain, right? You're
I
supposed to
know,
feel this way around villains, and sometimes they give us
I know.
villains that are too like likable, and it's like, oh, okay, I like this guy, but then it's like they don't do anything that makes you hate them, and it's like, well, then are they a really effective villain, or are they just an
Hmm.
opposition of your protagonist, like your hero? This
Hmm.
one does a great job of making you really hate him in certain particular situations because you really feel for Jake Hoyt. He's like
Hmm.
this family man. He's trying to do it. You feel bad for his character. And then to see Alonzo toying with him when you know he's being toyed with, and then he knows he's being toyed with, he's kind of going along anyways a little bit with it to try to uncover more. But then still Alonzo, man, bad, bad man. Didn't even care about his baby mama, like none of it. Didn't care about
No,
anybody. Very selfish. Didn't care about his own kid.
no, that whole like that kind of monologue at the end where he's just like screaming and yelling. I'm like, you sound like a pussy. Like you
You
sound
sound
like
like
a
a
wuss.
baby. You sound like a
You
little
sound like a
child.
you sound like a child, and like you think you're keeping your ego up. Like I don't care what happens to me, but really you sound like a child
And where
throwing a
does all that,
tantrum.
yeah, and when people have that kind of ego and tantrum where they have to overcompensate, they're always
Hmm.
overcompensating because it's always a sense of insecurity, right? It's always a sense
Yep.
of a fear of having not having control. He's the exact same way. So the louder they are, the more they're trying to mask, essentially.
That's why right from that first scene with him, I'm like, you could tell that's
Hmm.
exactly who he is. And if he was put into that situation, that's exactly how he's gonna act. And that's why I was like, I hate you. And then when he tricks him into smoking the PCP, I'm like, no, you. And he's like, I didn't hold a gun to your head. I'm like, oh,
You son of a
bitch,
gun. Yeah.
you son
I
of a
hate your
gun.
guts. Yeah.
Yeah.
What I really loved about this is because Denzel tends to play the hero, and he does such a masterful job at
Mm,
doing it.
hmm.
But to see him play the villain, it's nice change. It reminds me of like Leo when Leo would play the villain in Django Unchained. It's so shocking to see them play this, and when they play it so well, you genuinely hate their character because they're so vile and evil, but it's still
Hmm.
the actor playing them. So there's the charm in their eyes because you're used to seeing them as the hero. So it kind of
Hmm.
plays with your emotions a little bit when you watch it. And I think it's so captivating. I'm a fan of Ethan Hawke. I think Ethan Hawke is great. I would have liked to see him in more movies because I think he's really good. I think he's kind of underrated, to be honest with you. And I think he does a really good job as this. I know that they originally had Tobey Maguire that was potentially going to play it. It would not have been the same. Not that Tobey Maguire is a bad actor. I think he's very particular. He could play. He's great in Pleasantville. You know what I mean? He did good
Yeah.
as Peter Parker, but this is not that type of movie. Ethan Hawke has like a vulnerability to him. He has like an everyday man quality to him.
Also, their looks are very like Tobey Maguire's a little more like little boy next door, like just
Mhm.
their natural appearance. And Ethan Hawke has sounds kind of weird, but he has that little like kind of like a rat face. And it's like he
Yeah.
could be an undercover guy going to buy
Yeah.
drugs. He could be a drug addict. Like if you look at
Yeah.
him, it's like he could be this drug guy. Like he has like a little
Mm-hmm.
bit of a rat face. Toby Maguire, I would be like, no, are you just like a college
Yeah.
student? Like what are you
Yeah. You're
doing?
Peter Parker
Yeah.
working for the Daily Bugle.
I was gonna say, do you write for, the school
Yeah.
newspaper? Like that's what he looks like.
Where's your camera, nerd? So let's talk about it. Is this a movie that you're gonna rage quit or are you gonna play it back?
That they're so drastic of choices. Like, I'm gonna rage quit it. No, but I'm gonna play it back. Probably not.
Yeah.
Or so I'm in the middle where it's like, put it on the shelf, and I'm like, I've seen it. It's just
You
movies like
appreciated
that.
it, you liked it,
I
but
pre
it's so not your type of movie.
I'm very particular with heavy tone movies. And I think the reason why I don't watch a lot of movies, like I don't just think, hey, this movie's out, I'm gonna watch it. I have to be mentally prepared and emotionally ready to be invested into a movie because I like get invested into a movie. That's why I'm like, I watch the same thing all the time. I'm comfortable, I know. And if I watch movies like this where it's like heavy and gray and darker tones, and like I'm just like, oh, I need to be like, Marie, you're gonna feel awful after you watch this. Just you gotta be prepared. So will I get into the mood where I'm like, you know what I want to watch? Training Day. I need to see that pen. Actually, the pen in Snoop Dogg's throat was my favorite.
Yeah. It's
I loved it.
it's just it's I can do, I know this movie can get heavy and stuff, but I just really, really can appreciate phenomenal acting. And
Yeah,
his acting as Alonzo in this is just phenomenal. So I
it
go
is.
back to this movie sometimes. Not a ton, but I've seen it a handful of times and I just love watching Denzel just cook, man. He's one of the greatest actors we've had. And I love to just watch him cook. This is by far one of his best performances.
I agree that he's amazing. And this is just us again being like you looking at it more like analytically as a movie making thing, and I do everything emotionally. And I watch that movie, and I'm tense in my stomach, and I'm sweating, and I'm mad, and I'm like, it's exhausting. So I'm like, yeah, it was really good, really great. Denzel, you did awesome, but do I want to go through that again? I don't know.
Hmm.
But it was good. It was a good movie. It's a good movie. And the
It's a great
performances were
movie.
awesome.
It's a
It's
great movie.
it's a great movie for what it is. It's a great movie.
No. Don't add a caveat. It's a great movie. It may not be a Marie movie, but it's a great movie. And there's a reason why he won an Oscar. So let's not shortchange it here. It was nominated.
I don't like just saying, "Hey guys, it's a great movie," because maybe some people watch it and be like, "Oh, that's not my thing. It's not great."
But they can say that about everything. Oh, you want to talk about that, huh? You want to sit here and talk about Blair Witch? You talk about how it's such a great movie and there's so many people that hate it. But when it comes to Training Day, now we don't want to mislead the people. I'm kidding.
No, you're allowed to hate the Blair Witch. I get it. I just personally love it because the way it
Yes.
makes me feel. It makes me feel good.
Why? Because everybody's in despair and agony because they can't escape and find a home.
Just because it feels like you're there and you're in it and you're in the woods and you're scared with them. I don't know. I like the found footage. I like it being in
Hey,
there.
so does Training Day. It feels like you're right there in the car with them smoking PCP.
I would rather be in the woods hiding
I
from a
know.
witch that's going to kill me than anywhere with Alonzo. I would never want to be in with Alonzo ever. I would never want to
Yeah.
be in a room with him
No.
ever. He's scarier to me and I hate him more than a witch.
Yes. A wish that you never see.
Does it make you upset that I didn't think it was
No.
like I don't love it?
No. I think it's phenomenal. I'm just giving you a little bit of I'm just joking around with you, ribbing you because you're saying, oh, it's a good movie. It's like, no, it's a great movie. You just didn't appreciate it. There's a lot of great movies or Oscar movies that I can consider, okay, that's a great movie. I don't love it though. It's
Yeah,
like
that's what
that.
I'm trying to
That's the
say.
way I work. But saying a movie is like, oh, it's good, it's all right. Like, no, it's better than all right. It's good. It's just not your type of movie. That's it.
Yes.
I'm just ribbing you.
Yeah, a
That's it.
great movie that Marie thinks is like I because it made me feel like garbage.
Hmm. Which in
There.
my book means it's powerful.
It did
So
its thing.
again, how do we
It
analyze
served
it?
it served its purpose. It was really good. It succeeded. It did what it was supposed to do.
Hmm.
The performances were great. It was all really good. But you asked me if I'm going to rage quit or play it back. I probably won't play it back
Good
unless I have to.
for remix, right? For when we do late to the game remix edition, and I force you to rewatch the movies for a second time.
That's actually good. That could be a good idea though, because then I get like a second opinion. And during sometimes with second watches, you're like, oh wait a minute,
Usually
okay,
the second, yeah. I think in order for me to really properly rate movies, I always give it a second viewing. That's usually
Yeah.
how I do it. I have to really properly. So the first time I'm like brand new, I'm trying to absorb it all. And then when I rewatch it the second time, that's when I start to really take in directing and the
Yeah.
technical parts of it. And that's when I can appreciate nice plant and payoffs, the setups. I can really appreciate metaphors, symbolisms that the director put in there that are the subtext. Yeah.
Exactly why everything needs a second watching. Because like now it's like I know what's going to happen. I know what's happening. I understand the characters more. The tension and the rage in my stomach is gone. I can just watch it for what it is, and which is a film, instead of
And
like being
appreciate it.
like I hate these people. Yes, late to the game, numero dos maybe.
Yeah.
It's gonna come.
The double deucer, the moose knuckle editions.
Thank you for watching this episode of Marie Plays It All. So late to the game with Daniel Vigorous and Sangre. Do you remember? Do you know her real name was Vigorous in the first half?
Vigorous. Yeah, that makes sense. Everything I do in life is vigorous. I do it vigorously. Everything in life. Even when I just lay there and go to sleep, I sleep vigorously. It's very exhausting, let me tell you that. It's very exhausting. But
That's why he's so tired today, guys, because he was so vigorous all day. He needs to just chill. You can find more of our episodes on our YouTube channel, Not a Strong Start. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Not a Strong Start. And you can follow me on Instagram at Replays It All. And you can listen to us anywhere you listen to your podcasts.
And you can follow me at Marie Plays It All. Lied is Daniel Plays It All. Lied again is King_Sangre. Double I. Moose knuckle lie.
Never stop playing and never stop invigorating your moose knuckle.
Never. Or smoking PCP, which we
Oh.
do not endorse on the show. We don't endorse it on the show. Don't do it. But if you want to do it and leave comments in this video, hey, might be kind of funny.
It would be vigorously entertaining.
Vigorously.
Wah, wah, wah.
Womp womp. What?